Malaria. Musujja gw'ensiri. Omusujja.
Malaria.
So omusujja gw'ensiri. Malaria is the quickest killer.
Malaria kills 14 in a day.
Times 7, times 30, times 365. Those are very many people.
It's time to get rid of it.
Let us fight together.
The fight against malaria
Starts with you.
Be an ambassador.
En route Salama Road, located in Salama Parish, Makindye Division, Kampala district in Uganda, is where you find Ttakajunge village. Salama Road creates a divide of the village into two parts, the highland and the low-lying area. The low-lying area is defined by Mayanja stream and the swampy vegetation, which are breeding grounds for mosquitoes that spread malaria.
Omwara guno gukoze kyamaanyi nnyo amazzi bwe gajjula nga gaddena ate tegavaayo gatuula ne gabeeraawo n'ensiko abayunula abaatulekera wanene ensiko tebajja kukola kkubo ne mugendamu amazzi ensiri ne zivaamu ne ziruma abaana baffe ne tulwala omusujja.
Bannange amazzi we gajja n'ensiri ziba mpitirivu nnyo.
We tuli waliwo ensiko tuliraanye emyala kati nga bula ntuli ku mayanja ate mwala munene ne kasasiro oyo naye aleeta ensiri ssebo.
Ebisinza okuleeta ensiri mu kitundu kino zenzigo tezirimu naddala mu kitundu kino ekya wetland nti mulimu amazzi agali stagnant. Tulina omwalo ogwo ogw'amayanja ogwo. Omwalo ogwo muzibu nnyo kuba kati gwazika amazzi tegakyatambula tugezaako okugulambula ne tukubira kesisi omulanga ne bakyagaanya okutwanukula.
Being true to the second Rotary area of focus of fighting disease, the Rotary Club of Makindye West Kampala undertook a project to empower the community of Ttakajunge to stop the spread of malaria.
It is a parasite that has come to kill every day. A full taxi of people is going underground because of malaria.
Dr. Ronald Sendagire, a general practitioner at Chirudu National Referral Hospital, says that malaria should be a concern for everyone because of its adverse effects, including death.
These complications are very common in children, especially those children under 5 years. So they can get cerebral malaria. Cerebral malaria goes to the brain and causes some brain damage. Kidney damage can be caused as well by malaria and many other damages. We have seen many people coming here with anemia, very low blood levels. So if that person does not get blood transfusion very early, the person can end up dying. So we need to emphasize the community that as soon as they diagnose or as soon as they recognize signs and symptoms of malaria, they should always run to the nearest health facilities for early treatment. And they should also ensure that they complete the doses because malaria can result into death.
Enabled by a malaria grant from Malaria Partners International, RC Makindye West Kampala has provided free mosquito nets and mosquito repellent plus residents of Ttakajunge to fight this life-threatening disease.
Once that mosquito smells that plant which is planted around the compound, it won't have the energy to enter to the house. That means the nets will also be doing at least a small job, since the most job will be done outside by that repellent plant. So those repellent plants which we received and the mosquito nets we received are curbing down on the number of those people getting malaria in our area.
Government yabadde eruddewo okutuwa obutimba okuva we yabutuwa ne Rotary Club ezze nga mu butuufu abantu obutimba bwe baabawa bwali bwayonooneka naye bwezze ne tukola ekirungi obutimba ne tubufuna ne tugabira era abantu baffe basanyufu nnyo kuba ne yali tasuubira kufuna akatimba ku lunaku lwe yalabikako akatimba yakafuna.
Residents have welcomed the intervention as a renewed hope in the fight against malaria.
Banaye bongera otugabira obutimba bagabira abantu obutimba ensiri zireko baluma kuba ensiri zirwaza. Kirungi nnyo osula mutimba abakazi b'embuto abaana abato musujja gw'ensiri guba gubayisa bubi.
Mbasaba beebereremu kuba embeera gye tulimu gwe kennyini gw'olina okusooka okwerabirira then omulala alyoka akulabire. Kati oli bw'aba akukwadde neeti ate togirundiramu nkoko, giteeke ku buliri bw'abaana oba obubwo owone omusujja gw'ensiri mubeere balamu.
To ensure sustainability of the fight against malaria in Ttakajunge, Rotary Club of Makindye brought on board 8 village health team members known as VHTs and 10 opinion leaders known as malaria champions. These were charged with the responsibility of traversing the village, teaching residents on ways to stop the spread of malaria.
Previously, the government has been giving these nets, but within a short time you find around the homestead the nets have been spread as a what? Maybe they planted something, the greens and the nets are now covering. The chickens have been covered with the nets. So now, when I go there, since I've been in the field for a long time, that is the first thing I tell them. Please, I don't want to find you tomorrow covering the chicks here, not to go. So make sure we tell them to use the nets positively.
Abantu baffe beetaaga kujjukiza buli kaseera tetuddiriza. Naye ndokeezo tuzeetaagira ddala mu bungi okuziyiza ebweru wano kiba kirungi nnyo. Kuba n'owo omuzigo asobola okusimba mu kisawo ng'ekisubi ng'ekyo kigoba ensiri.
For Rotarian Florence Nakabito, a malaria champion makes a clarion call to fellow Ttakajunge residents to heed the message of fighting the spread of malaria.
Let us be more vigilant about the cleanliness and hygiene. Stagnant water. Let us keep our place so clean, and we use the mosquito nets, and we close the windows on time.
In the fight against malaria, Dr. Sendagire tells of what must always be remembered.
First and foremost, you shouldn't forget about the preventive measures of malaria. You should also not forget about the very risky groups of getting severe cases of malaria. Okay? And you should also not forget about how to prevent malaria, okay? How to treat early malaria, and you shouldn't also forget to emphasize the detrimental effects of malaria. The malaria can easily be transmitted to the unborn child, so we should always emphasize that mothers who are pregnant, they attend antenatal care. Once they go for antenatal, they are always provided with chemoprophylaxis against malaria.
For Abdallah Kayongo, the program's manager at Malaria Partners Uganda, he's more than excited to see people starting to embrace the fight against malaria.
It always gives us pleasure when we realize that at least people are starting to own the fight against malaria, because we shall not wait for government in whatever is being done, and we shall not always rely on donors to help us. So as advocates, if we take the fight against malaria to the masses, and people now understand that I should not wait for government to come and support me, I should fight malaria myself. Because if someone appreciates that the fight against malaria starts with me cleaning and digging the holes around, clearing the bushes, clearing the stagnant water, and people now appreciate this, at least as advocates, we now understand that at least we are reaching out to the masses.
In keeping the malaria fight alive, PDG Ken Mugisha, the board chairman of Malaria Free Uganda Ministry of Health, and Malaria Partners Uganda, reasserts the value of zero malaria, starting with you.
That message of a Malaria Free Uganda starts from me, means your action. Do you take deliberate efforts to make sure that there's no malaria in your community and your vicinity? Or you leave bushes to be around you, stagnant water to be around you. You don't bother whether your woman has gone to a testing. They give you mosquito nets and you start using them as nurseries. So that journey starting from you is we plant trees which are mosquito repellent. See them grow, but do not destroy them. In case you see anyone moving around it, please be an ambassador of that tree. In the end, we'll be protecting the environment, but we'll be doing away with these mosquitoes, which are unleashed to us every day because of our actions in our homes and in our communities.
PDG Ken Mugisha talks of the light at the end of the tunnel for Rotarians engaged in the fight against malaria.
I'm working with the Ministry of Health, under the National Malaria Control Division to make sure that Rotarians have access to mosquito nets, because Rotarians are in every location in Uganda. Every corner of Uganda today has a Rotary Club. And these are people who mix up with communities. They receive people knocking on their doors every day that my child is dying because of malaria, but I don't have money. So you're going to be the ambassadors. You're going to be the people to identify a need in a community in the fight against malaria. And we come together to fight this mosquito, which is the biggest monster today I can talk about.
Mrs. Elizabeth Chirabo Mriahibwa, the president of the Rotary Club of Makindye West Kampala, is proud of the journey moved so far in the fight against malaria in Ttakajunge, but also optimistic of a bigger grant for a bigger support to many other places.
Initially, we thought it would be just a small piece of work, go down to the community, sensitize them, but there's a lot of work to be done and there's a lot of response from the ground. I think there's a lot, much more that we didn't anticipate would be done. Rotary, luckily, is onto malaria eradication, so we, in good spirit, are willing to help people. We only need more help, more facilitation in terms of perhaps a bigger grant, perhaps more grant to take on more villages. Starting with Ttakajunge was a good idea, but the rest of the neighborhoods need to experience what Ttakajunge has gone through.
I would also like to appreciate the Rotary Club of Makindye West and the partners. I'm glad that those people accepted to bring that project to us. So I'm very happy, and we are just asking for more.